Oh, look at me all close and personal today.
I stay alive.
Hi, welcome to Life of T. Roche. My name is Tayani. If you're new here, I do mainly make videos about my fitness and weight loss journey. If that's something that's of interest for you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But let's go ahead and jump into the video. So today I'm going to talk about the secrets that kept me consistent in my fitness journey. So I feel like when people start their journey, it seems like it's easy to start for them, but it's not easy for them to stay consistent. So, a lot of things that I hear from friends and family, they're either like cutting out all the foods that they love, doing exercises that they hate, they're doing all the things that they normally would not do, which puts a distaste in your mouth. It makes you not want to do it. It makes the journey feel forced. And for me, like to be honest with you guys, I that's something that I've done too. However, as time went on and as I allowed myself this trial and error period, I was able to find the things that I love, that I wanted to do, that I wanted to incorporate in my day-to-day life. So, the first secret that kept me consistent was eating all my favorite foods. I know that sounds crazy because you hear people cutting out all their food, all like you hear people cutting out junk food, pizza, ice cream. And for me, I didn't cut out any of my favorite foods. I substituted. So, like for example, I love Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and I still eat that to this day, but I try to just eat a serving size. I love Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and I still eat that to this day, but I try to just eat a serving size. However, I don't make that a habit. So I typically substitute it for Halo Top. I can eat a whole pint of ice cream of Halo Top for basically a quarter of the calories. So that's something that I did, was not cut out any of the foods that I loved. In the beginning, when I was cutting out all my favorite foods, I found myself binge eating a lot. I felt like I was being deprived. So my secret was to stay consistent, was just keeping all the foods that I love and not depriving myself at all from the things that I like to eat on a day-to-day basis. My next secret that kept me consistent was doing exercises that I love. Now, I noticed that when people start their weight loss journey, they look to people on the internet, they see what they're doing, and then they try to do those things that that person is doing so they can achieve that same goal. However, the exercises that that person is doing may not work for you. So you may see that person jogging every day, but you don't like jogging. So why would you go jog? So what I did that kept me consistent was doing exercises that I loved. So I love hiking, I love jump roping, I love lifting weights, and I do love doing HIIT cardio. So I made sure I kept doing the exercise that I love so it won't feel forced. And I'm not doing anything if I feel forced doing it, period. So the next thing that kept me consistent in my journey was making a plan. So sometimes we have these ideas on, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you don't make a plan on how to get there. The plan is just a guide, it's just a map. So you map out your plan and then you consistently look at your plan and see how you're going to get there. I'm a firm believer that you need to plan out how you're going to get there. So, for example, are you planning out the meals you're going to be eating for the week? Are you planning out your exercises for the week if you exercise? Um, are you, like, say, if you have a dinner with your friend, are you planning out that day so you can fit that into your calorie count for the day if you're counting calories or if you're in a caloric deficit? Like, how are you planning to meet your goal?
So I had to come upstairs to finish filming because my son woke up from his nap. So the next secret that kept me consistent was not focusing on being perfect. And what I mean by that is, say if I didn't meet my calorie count for the day, if I was counting calories during that time, or say if I guess overate or had a bunch of junk food. Like, I didn't focus on being perfect because not every day is going to be perfect. There's going to be hindrances during your journey. There's going to be days where you had a rough day. There's going to be days where you have family members who passed away, and there's going to be days where your child is getting on your nerves. There's going to be those days, and that's why I didn't focus on being perfect, but more so focused on being consistent and making sure that I showed up every day, no matter what that looked like. Another thing that kept me consistent was allowing myself to go out with friends. Now, I have heard from friends and family where they avoided going out with friends, like going to brunch or going to dinner or clubbing or whatever you do on the side. And they avoided that because they were afraid that they were going to overeat or overdrink or overdo it. And personally, if you haven't caught wind in this video, if I have to take away something in order for me to lose weight, like, I'm not gonna do it. So, I still want to see my friends. I still want to live my life. I don't want to deprive myself of anything, and that's going out with my friends as well. If your friends is having a brunch, go out with your friend and have a brunch. Life is too short to be cutting out things and cutting out people because you're trying to meet a goal. Like, I get it. However, have fun too. The next secret that kept me consistent was being specific with my goals, because beforehand I was not specific with my goals at all. Made sure they were goals that I could meet. So specific and attainable goals, okay? So the next secret that kept me consistent, knowing your why. Why do you want to lose weight, or why do you want to meet this specific goal? And it doesn't have to be about weight loss and fitness. Like, why do you want to meet this goal? Do you want to meet this for you? Do you want to meet this for somebody else? Do you want to meet this because you want to feel better, look better? Like, what is your why? Like, why are you doing this? And I feel like when you know why you want to meet a certain goal, the harder you'll push to meet that goal. What I realize is when people's why is because of somebody else and not because of their self, they didn't meet the goal because they're trying to please someone else. Like, oh, I'm doing this because, so-and-so wants me to lose weight. But what do you want? What do you want? You're over here considering their feelings. This is not even their life. They're a part of your life, but this is not even their life. So what do you want? What do you want to do? Do you want to do this? Because I feel like your why has to be something that you want to do. And I feel like when you're doing things for other people, you're not going to meet that goal, okay? And I've seen this happen time and time again. Because like I've said numerous of times in this video, you're forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do. When it feels forced, you don't do it. So the next thing that kept me consistent is changing my exercises. So I know I did talk about doing exercises that I liked. However, if the exercises were no longer suitable for me or suitable for what I was trying to achieve, I changed my exercises. Maybe it wasn't working for me anymore, or my body was changing, so I needed something more strenuous or more advanced. Like, I would change my exercises. Also, I do get bored easily, so I felt like I had to change my exercises and continuously change my environment so I can stay consistent and stay present. And my thing is you don't always have to do the same exercises all the time. You can change it. Another secret that kept me consistent, I went over my goals weekly. So I wrote down all the goals that I wanted to meet in my fitness journey. I will look at them, make sure they're still right for me. I made sure they were actually attainable. Sometimes what I realize is sometimes your goals do change during your fitness journey, just depending on where you're at, depending on your mindset. Things do change. So if you need to update your goal, then so be it. And that kept me consistent, was just going over my goals and making sure that I was on track to meet them. Another secret that kept me consistent is planning to fail. So I know that sounds crazy, you guys, but planning to fail, and I don't mean failing as in stopping cold turkey. I mean failing as in like there's a trial and error period where you're seeing what works for you and what doesn't. So it's not necessarily a fail, it's just seeing what works for you, like what works for your fitness journey that helps you reach the goal. What I don't talk about often to my friends and family is like, hi Ruby. Sorry guys, she's probably breathing on the mic and everything. Mama, y'all, my kids are so like, if they see me doing anything else besides paying attention to them, they're like, Mom, I need you. You need to be looking at me and paying attention to me. What are you doing talking to this camera? I'm talking to the people. I'm talking to the people. So what I don't talk about in this journey is that I failed a lot. Like there were some days where I didn't exercise or I didn't eat healthy, but I still stayed consistent. So, I would take that loss that day and then I would get up the next day and start all over again. But I feel like you plan to fail and you acknowledge that, you take accountability and you move on, period. Simple as that. The thing that kept me consistent was not focusing on the pounds. I know you guys are gonna kill me when I say that, but so in the beginning I was more so focusing on the pounds and the pounds only because I was ignorant and I thought that was the only way that you could lose weight or show that you're losing weight was just the pounds. I didn't realize that you can lose fat off of your body as well. There's other ways to track if you're progressing towards your goal other than pounds. Like when I was working with, I did end up working with a trainer at one point, and I'll go ahead and do that video this week for you guys to let you know my experience on that. But one of the things that she drilled in my head was don't focus on the pounds. So when I had meetings with her, she'll be like, okay, how's your clothes fitting? How is your endurance? How does your body feel? Are you measuring yourself? Are you losing inches? So I was losing inches around my calves, stomach, neck. My face was getting smaller, but the scale wasn't moving. So once I got that in my mindset that there was other ways to track your progress besides the scale, I stayed more consistent just knowing that knowledge. And I think a lot of people heavily rely on the scale and the scale alone. So also you can track it by your BMI as well, your body mass index. So at the time, I think my highest body mass index was 50, so which is morbidly obese. And I bought a scale that tracks that. And I also went to the doctor to get that tracked as well. And I saw that my BMI was slowly going down, even though my pounds weren't going down, but my BMI was. So I think that's something to keep in mind, that there's just other ways to track besides the pounds. And I know a lot of people rely heavily on the pounds. I get it. But I mean, if you're going in the right direction, you see that your clothes are fitting looser and that your waist is getting smaller, your neck is getting smaller, your face is getting smaller, you're on the right track, girl. Our guy, don't worry about it. So the secret that kept me consistent is getting back on track the next day. So I know I briefly mentioned this in one of the secrets that I gave, but there'll be days, for example, if Aunt Flo comes and I want brownies, I want cookies, I want ice cream, I want it all. And I allow myself to have all of that. I allow it just for that day or two. However, the next day, so I would allow myself to have that day and I would get right back on track. Whereas beforehand, if I messed up like that and I had all this junk food in one day, I'd be like, well, what's the point of me continuously going because I messed up? So I messed up the entire journey. When in actuality, you didn't. You just got to get back up and get back on track, be consistent, acknowledge that you messed up, and not even messed up, you just allowed yourself a day, and that's okay. So you can get back to it the next day. And I think that's where a lot of people are so hard on themselves, because they don't allow themselves that grace, that room to take a day off. So I didn't even get to finish my video because my phone ran out of space, but those are the secrets that kept me consistent in my fitness journey. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you like this content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. What are some secrets that keep you guys consistent? I want to know. Peace.